All of you, please get ready with your textbook.
Good morning, ma'am.
Page number 47.
Textbook.
Yes, textbook.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Okay, Juan, start reading the lesson.
Good morning, ma'am.
Juan, please unmute your audio.
Ma'am.
Yes.
1 minute, ma'am.
I hope all of you read the text.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Lesson 7. Puppet tradition of India. We all love stories. Don't we just as there are many stories. There are various ways of telling them. You can read a story in a storybook, or you can watch one on television. We hear stories from our friends and watch a story performed in the theater. Some of these ways of storytelling are old.
Very old.
They are very old. They have become what we call traditions.
Traditions. Okay, very good. Very good. Manjima, continue reading.
In which category of storytelling do you think puppetry falls? And how old do you think is the tradition? Do you know what a puppet is? Very simple.
Very simply.
Very simply. A puppet is a doll that is brought to life by a storyteller to narrate a story. The person who controls the doll is called the puppeteer.
Puppeteer. Manjima, puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
Puppeteer. Or Sutradhar.
Sutradhar.
Okay, very good. Excellent reading. Next, I would like Felix to read. Felix, continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Continue where Manjima
The
stopped.
doll can be made of any material such as wood, cloth, clay, and so on. The puppeteer moves the doll using strings, rods, and his hands. It is believed that puppet began in India.
Felix, it's puppetry.
From the ancient times, puppets have been used to tell stories across the different regions of India.
Very good. Well, that's it. I took only till that. That was a very good reading, excellent reading with a wonderful pronunciation. Felix, keep it up. Now, I love the way Manjima also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, both of you, keep it up. Juan, you have to, you were in a hurry. So that's where you went wrong. So just pay attention to each and take care of the punctuation. Whenever you see a full stop, a comma, you have to read accordingly with the proper intonation. Okay, then it will be fun. Okay, children, so let me ask you some questions based on this. So in the beginning, we started the lesson with the syllables, and I hope you all remember how words can be divided into syllables. Okay, now there are different ways of telling stories. Can you tell me what are the various ways of telling stories? Unimaya, what are the various ways of telling stories?
Read storybook
Read storybooks.
on
Then,
television
on watching stories on television. Then,
and watching in theater,
yes, dramas in theater. Then,
puppet shows,
puppet shows. Then,
hearing stories from
from
friends.
very good, excellent. So listening to stories or narrating stories with friends or parents or grandparents, etc. So there are various ways of telling stories, out of which many storytelling ways have become very old, and they have become just traditions that we call now. Now come on, tell me, what do you mean by the word tradition? Kirtana, what do you mean by the word traditions?
Physical features.
Yes, Kirtana, waiting for your answer.
Yes.
Say it loudly, I cannot hear you.
Physical features of origin.
Louder. Can others hear Kirtana? Just repeat once again.
Physical features of
Ah,
of a country or a
okay, okay. Different customs or rituals of a country or a particular group of people. That is widely practiced, right? That is called traditions. Now come on, tell me, what, Riza, stop sending messages in the chat box. I know whom to ask, okay? Now tell me, what is a puppet? Nainika, what is a puppet?
Puppet. Puppet is a doll.
Okay, just a doll, a normal doll. Any
Yes.
dolls can be called puppets.
Yeah.
I want a specific answer. What do you mean by what are puppets?
Puppets are doll.
Dolls, okay.
When
Puppets are dolls.
someone tells
Ah.
a story,
Yes.
they
Ah. Okay, fine. It's partially right. Isha, continue. You give me the correct answer of what are puppets.
Puppet is a doll
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
that a person brings
Ah.
to life by
Life.
telling the story.
Exactly. A doll brought to life by a storyteller to narrate a story. Okay, that is that is called puppet. And the person who controls the puppets are known by a special name. Ryan, what is it? The person who controls the puppets are known by which name? Unmute. What are they called? The people who control puppets. Yes?
Peter.
You're not confident in pronouncing the word, right? It's puppeteer. Repeat.
Puppeteer.
Puppeteer, or what is the other word? What is the other word for puppeteer? A Hindi word. Srihari. Srihari, which is that other word? Please unmute. Unmute. Not able to unmute.
Sutradhar.
Exactly, Sutradhar, puppeteer or Sutradhar. And these puppets can be made out of any materials like clay, cloth, then wood, etc. And the puppeteer moves the dolls using strings, rods, or his hands. And this puppetry has been believed to have originated in our country, this tradition. Okay, and from the ancient times, what do you mean by ancient times? Olden times. This puppetry has been used to narrate stories in different parts of the country. Okay, that's where we stop. Now, let's move on to the next half of the lesson. And in this, we will be learning about different types of puppets. Okay. So, we'll be learning the different types of puppets. Types of puppets. The first one, string puppets. The name itself will give you a clear idea of what type of the puppets are. The second one, shadow puppets. Shadow puppets. The third one is glove puppets. Glove puppets. And the fourth one is rod puppets. These are the 4 types of puppets that are going to be explained in the lesson. Okay, string puppets, shadow puppets, glove puppets, and rod puppets. Now let us see what are string puppets. Okay, let us read more about them and discover the different kinds of puppets. Let us begin with the string puppets. These puppets have strings attached to various parts of their bodies. The puppeteer pulls a string and the puppet moves a part of its body. These puppets are also called marionettes. Okay, so what is special about string puppets? They are controlled by strings attached to different parts of their bodies. And the puppeteer pulls a string and that particular part of the body will be moving. This is how the string puppets work. And there is one more word for string puppets. They are also called marionettes. 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 Now come on, tell me, how many syllables are there in this word marionettes? Niranjan, how many syllables are there in this word?
Ma, ri, yo, net.
How do you divide the word into syllables? Yes, what Arpita showed is correct. Ma, ri, yo, nets. So how many syllables? 4 syllables. When you divide the word into syllables, you should focus on the vowel sound. Okay, each syllable will have a vowel sound. So ma, ri, yo, nets. Marionettes. 4 syllable words. So string puppets are also called, yes, Alessandra was showing that clap method. Ma, ri, yo, nets. That is how it is divided into 4 syllables. So string puppets are also called marionettes. I'll show you some pictures. Look at this. Can you see that? Look at that beautiful dolls. The strings are tied to different parts of the body of the dolls. And these are you able to see, Isha? Can you see the picture? Thumbs up if you can see. Yes. So the puppeteer will be controlling the string to control the various parts of the body of the dolls. Okay. That's it. Now let's move on to the second type of puppet, that is shadow puppets. Shadow puppets, on the other hand, are flat. Before that, you just look at the string puppets pictures. String puppets from Rajasthan, string puppet from Karnataka. So each state will be having their own style of puppets with their costumes, their tradition. Okay, it will be colorful and you can see the different types from different states. Shadow puppets, on the other hand, are flat and something like paper cutouts. They are usually made of leather. The puppets are pressed against a white cloth with light falling on it. This results in the puppet's shadow falling on the cloth. The audience then watches and listens to the story through these shadows. So, shadow puppets are not dolls. They are more like paper cutouts. Okay, and normally these cutouts are made out of leather. And these cutouts are pressed against a white canvas or cloth on which the light will be made to fall on it, creating the shadow of the puppets. That is how the shadow puppets are made. I'll show you a video. Just a moment. Are you able to see any screen there, children? Nainika? Are you able to see the screen? If it is yes, please thumbs up. Okay, fine. So there is no audio, okay? Only the video is there. You can see how the shadow puppets are created here. You can see that white canvas. These cutouts are moving. See, you can see the cutouts. The people are holding the cutouts against the white cloth on which the light is falling and creating the shadows of the puppet. Look there. Okay. I'll show you some pictures also. I hope you could see that video. And here you are. See? Shadow puppets. People are holding the cutouts, the back of the white cloth, and you can see the light falling on it. And this will create the shadows of the cutout, which the audience will be able to see and enjoy the show. I hope it is clear. So I'll tell once again. Shadow puppets are like paper cutouts, normally made out of leather. And these cutouts are pressed against a white cloth on which the light will be falling, creating the shadows of the puppets. And that's how the shadow puppet shows are created. And the audience will be watching the performance. Now the third type of puppets is glove puppets. Glove puppets, as the name suggests, fit on the hands like gloves. The puppeteer uses his or her fingers to move the puppet. These are also known as hand puppets or palm puppets. Okay, so as the name says, glove puppets fits on the hands like a glove. Look at the picture. Fits on the hands like a glove. And the puppeteer will be moving his fingers and hands to make the puppets move. Okay. They are also known by the names hand puppets or palm puppets. Is that clear to all of you? Okay. So please turn to the next page. Now comes the fourth type, the last type of puppet called rod puppets. Then we have rod puppets which are like glove puppets, except that they are bigger and rods are used to control them. So the rod puppets are almost similar like glove puppets, but the only difference, there are two differences. Differences are rod puppets are slightly bigger than the glove puppets, and instead of the hands and fingers, the rods are used to control the rod puppets. Okay, so that's about rod puppets. Here's it. The rod puppets, it's small rods, okay? It's not string. It looks like string puppets, but rod puppets are also something similar like glove puppets. And you can see the picture there, rod puppets from West Bengal. Okay, so that was about the different types of puppets. I hope It's clear to all of you. Did you all understand what are the different types of puppets?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, Hyra, tell me what are the 4 types of puppets that we read here? 4 types of puppets. Just a moment.
String puppet,
Just a moment. Hyra, unmute.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. What are the different?
Shadow puppet,
Yes.
glow puppet,
Glow puppets. And the 4th one?
rod puppet.
Rod puppets. Very good. Now, Mayuk, tell me what are string puppets? What did you understand about string puppets? Without looking at the book. Tell me what are string puppets? Yes, Riza.
It has string attached to the body.
Okay. Then. So the
To
puppeteer will
control-
be to control the various parts of the body. Okay.
Body.
Then, what is the other name for string puppets? Just try to recall it. The word that has 4 syllables. It is a new word. Yes, we'll get it. What is that word? Yes, Maria? Maria Binu, tell me. What is it called?
Marionettes.
Exactly, marionettes. Okay, the string puppets are also known as marionettes. Mayuk, what is that name? What is that name?
Marionettes.
Marionettes. Okay,
Marionettes.
very good. Now, Riza, tell about shadow puppets.
The people would use clothes, white cloth to cover the puppets.
Cover the puppets, no? What are the puppets made out of? How do they look like actually? Shadow puppets. How do they look like? Is it a doll?
No,
No. Then
No.
how do they look like?
paper.
Yes, paper cutouts. They are like paper cutouts. And what is the material of, wait, what is the material out of which this cutouts are made normally? Out of which material do they make the cutouts?
Paper cloth.
No. They use a special material normally. Yes, Alessandra is telling the answer. Glenn, what is the material out of which the cutouts are made for shadow puppets? Glenn.
Cloth.
Not cloth. Not cloth.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Alessandra. Alessandra.
Leather.
Exactly. The cutouts are normally made out of leather. And these cutouts are pressed against, Riza, they are pressed against white cloth. And then what happens?
Would
Ah,
put the puppets
ah,
and
ah.
show the audience the story.
No, they press the puppets against the white cloth. Then what? What is the next point?
They would catch the puppets
Ah.
and they would show
No, that is incomplete. It's incomplete. Jenica, can you tell how the shadow puppet shows are done? How it is performed? Riza gave the partial answer. The cutouts are made out of leather and they press them against the white cloth. Then what? What is the next point? Do you know the answer?
Puppet
No,
shadow.
let's not. Let's not waste the time. Sarah, do you know?
And puppet shadow.
You have to give me the correct answer.
And puppet shadow for
How the shadows are formed? How are the shadows formed? Yes, Janvi, tell the answer.
They are pressed
Ah.
against a white cloth
Ah.
which light falls on it.
Yes, the light should fall on it. Only then the shadow will be created. Simply by pressing the cutouts on the white cloth, the puppet shows cannot be done. Riza, it's called shadow puppets. So shadows of the puppet should be created. How are shadows created? Shadows cannot be created without light, right? So the light should fall on an object. Only then the shadow will be created. That you have learned in science. How are shadows formed? So these cutouts are pressed against a white cloth and the light falls on it, creating the shadow. And this is how the audience watch the performance of the puppet show. They watch the puppet show and enjoy the story. Is that clear to you? Yes, Riza, did you understand it now? Very good. That's it. Now the next one is glove puppets. What are glove puppets? Yes, Sarah. Sarah, give me the answer.
Glow puppets. The puppeteer
Ah,
will control the puppet
ah,
by
ah.
On the
his
hands
fingers and
Yes, with his hands and fingers. Okay. The glove puppets are also known by two other names. What are they?
hand puppets.
Ah,
puppets.
hand puppets and yes, palm puppets and hand puppets. Okay, okay, okay. Hand puppets and palm puppets. Now, Prithvi, tell me, what are rod puppets? The fourth type of puppet.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What are rod puppets? Yes? Who can give the answer? Rod puppets.
They are same like
Ah,
little bit same like glow puppets.
yeah, they are similar to glow puppets, but there are two differences. What are the two differences? What are the two differences? Dia, what are the two differences?
Control them.
Yes,
The rod
rods are used to control them. And what about the size? Yes, they are bigger. Okay, so two differences are they are bigger. Rod puppets are bigger than the globe puppets, and rods are used to control the rod puppets instead of the hands. Okay, so we learned the four types of puppets. Okay, the string puppets, shadow puppets, glow puppets, and the rod puppets. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now, Parvati, start reading from the portion that I took today. Let us read more about them from there. Got it? Are you unmuted? I cannot hear you. Start reading. No, Parvati, you are not audible. Can anyone hear Parvati? Can anyone hear? No. You're not able to hear. Wow, Adidev has got something, finger puppet. Look at Adi. Adi is holding something on his finger. So it can be a finger puppet. Show that, Adi. Show it to others. Yes, that's it. You put it on the finger, right? Okay. That's it. Krishna, start reading.
Let us read more about them and discover the different kinds of puppets. Let us begin with the string puppets. These puppets have string attached to
Various
various parts of their bodies. The puppeteer pulls a string and the puppet moves a part of its body. These puppets are also called
marionettes. Very good, Krishna. Very good. Adi, continue. Continue the reading. Shadow puppets.
Shadow puppets, on the other hand, are flat and something like paper cutouts.
Adi, paper, not pepper. Paper cutouts. Yes.
Paper cutouts. Those are usually made of leather. The puppets are pressed against white cloth with light falling on it. This results in the puppet shadow falling on the clothes.
On the cloth. See a full stop there. On the cloth. Then the audience
The audience then watches
Watches.
watches
Watches.
and listens
Listens to
to
the
the story
through
these
these shadow.
shadow.
Okay. Next, Naznia, continue. Globe puppets. Next page.
Glow puppets as the
Yes, same page. Sorry, 47. Globe puppets. Same page. 47.
glow puppets as the name
Suggest.
glow puppets as the name suggests sit on the hand like glows. The puppeteer uses his or her finger to move the puppet. These are also known as hand puppets or palm puppets.
Palm puppets. Okay, very good. Izan, next page. Can't hear you. I cannot hear you, Izan. Cannot hear
Then
you.
we have rod puppets, which are like glove puppets, except that they are bigger and rods are used to control them.
Okay, that's it. We took only till there. Okay. So children, you have to read the text thoroughly. And as we said, we are going to have the MCQ, the next MCQ. So the textbook reading should be perfect. Each and every word should be carefully read. Okay. And I'll be sending you the notes of this lesson today through the WhatsApp, which you have to copy down in your notebook. Okay, not in the textbook. Only workbook exercises can be done in the workbook itself. Textbook, textbook that lesson meanings, antonyms, past tense, make sentences, question answers, all these should be copied down in the literature notebook. Okay. Should we move on to the next? Should we continue? Okay. Tanvi, can you just read it? The next sentence, the next paragraph. Puppets make stories. Page number 40.
Some life forest magical life suddenly dance, jump and talk. This ancient frogs have always entertained brought people together. The puppeteer are master artists who have to practice for several days. To give a perfect performance in all days, puppeteer would travel from village to village in puppet shows. They would leave behind stories and memories. They kept culture and rich heritage intact thought their puppet shows.
Okay, thank you. Aditi, continue. The last paragraph. Nowadays. Just a moment. Unmute.
Nowadays, puppetry is no longer as popular as it was. The medium of telling stories has changed. We can now see stories on TV and read them in magazines, storybooks, and comics. But the charm of stories remains the same.
See, exactly. Okay, so this will be, we can conclude the lesson on Tuesday, and with that, our essay 1 portions from the textbook will be over. Okay, so please, the work for today is complete the notes, read the text, and be ready for the next class. Okay, so that's all for today, children. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.